All right, let's dive in. Today, we're basically becoming data detectives. We're going to tackle one of the biggest mysteries in the business world. Where is your marketing money actually going, and what's it really doing for you? Let's kick things off with a question that has been bugging marketers forever. You've probably heard this one before, right? It's a classic for a reason. You're pouring money into marketing, but can you honestly say which half is bringing in the customers and which half is, well, just gone? This massive uncertainty, that's the mystery we're here to solve today. And look, this isn't just some small puzzle we're trying to piece together. For most companies, this is a huge, high-stakes, billion-dollar question that goes straight to the bottom line. I mean, think about it. The challenge is just immense. You've got TV ads running, social media campaigns buzzing, paid search ads, maybe even radio spots, all happening at the same time. So how in the world do you untangle all of that? How do you know for sure if your latest Instagram campaign drove sales or if it was actually that TV ad from last week? It's a really complex web. But what if you could bring in a specialist? A data detective who could look at all the evidence and just give you straight answers. Well, that is exactly what marketing mix modeling is all about. We'll just call it MMM for short. It's the tool that turns all that confusion into real clarity. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about gut feelings or guesswork. Not at all. MMM is a seriously powerful statistical method. It digs through all your historical data to build a mathematical model of your business, and it quantifies the exact relationship between what you spend on marketing and what you get back in sales. So, what kinds of questions can this brilliant detective answer? Well, the big ones, the ones that really matter. It doesn't just tell you if something worked, it tells you how much it worked. It points to your highest ROI channels, shows you how to shuffle your budget for maximum impact, and tells you flat out what to scale up and what to cut. Okay, so how does our detective actually do all this? Well, like any good investigation, it all starts with gathering the clues. So let's take a look inside the toolkit. To crack the case, our detective needs to get all the clues organized. So think of it like this. Your sales or conversions, that's the ultimate outcome you're trying to explain. The main suspects are your marketing channels, your TV spend, your social spend, and so on. But you also have to account for other things, right? Like a competitor's big sale or a holiday weekend. Those are your control variables. And finally, we all know a TV ad doesn't always lead to a sale that very same day. So lag variables help us connect the dots over time. All right, all the clues have been gathered. Now our detective can actually begin the investigation. It's a very methodical, 5-step process to piece together the whole story. The process is super methodical. First, we get all the data in one place. Then, we poke around and look for some initial patterns. After that, we build the core of our case with a regression model. Check our theory against what actually happened, and finally, use everything we've learned to predict the future. So those first 2 steps, that's just pure classic detective work. We're pulling together all the data files, sales numbers, marketing spend for each channel, promotion dates, and laying it all out on the table. We're looking for the obvious connections, Did sales spike right after that big TV campaign? Is there a pattern during certain seasons? This is all about getting a feel for the case before we dive in deep. Step 3 is where the magic really happens, using a technique called regression analysis, which is basically just a fancy mathematical way to find the strongest connections between all our clues. The model calculates the specific contribution of each channel. It's like the detective figuring out that for every dollar you put into social media, you get $5 back in sales, but every TV dollar only brings back 2. It puts a hard number on the impact. Of course, any good theory has to be tested, right? In step 4, we put the model through its paces. We take our historical marketing spend, run it through the model to predict what sales should have been, and then we lay that prediction right on top of what sales actually were. If they match up closely, we know our detective is on the right track. And this is the payoff. Once we have a model we can trust, we can use it to peek into the future. What would happen if we shifted 20% of our TV budget over to paid search? The model can give us a data-backed prediction. This is what turns marketing from a game of chance into a real strategic exercise. So, after all this detective work, what's the end result? What's the actual case-winning evidence that you get to present to the board?
The final report is incredibly clear and actionable. You get a detailed breakdown of the ROI for every single channel with concrete recommendations on how to optimize your budget. It even comes with a what-if simulator to help guide your future decisions. You get the complete case file with all the evidence you need. Case closed.
Let's look at a real-world example to see how this plays out. A retail company was spending a ton of money on both TV and social media. After running an analysis, they got their first shocking piece of evidence. Social media was delivering 3 times the return on investment compared to their super expensive TV ads.
So, based on that one powerful insight, they made a really bold move. They took 30% of their massive TV budget and reallocated it, pumping that cash into their top performers, social media and paid search. And the result? In the very next quarter, their overall sales jumped by 18%. That's a perfect example. No more guessing, just data-driven decisions that lead to real, measurable growth. That's the mystery, solved. So, at the end of the day, the clues to unlocking more efficient growth, they're already there. They're hidden inside your own data. Marketing mix modeling isn't just another analytics tool. It's a way of finally listening to what that data has been trying to tell you all along. The only question left is, are you ready to listen? Thanks for tuning in.